right, so I'm trying something a little different today. I've got a GoPro on my head, so you guys are getting my point of view. This is the Mustang, and I've also got a lav mic attached to my t-shirt, and I have it taped, which is hilarious. Let me show you on my phone. You see? Can you see? And I've got the mic taped. So I just want to see how it works out, and if it works good, I'll just find a way to clip that with like a paper clip or something. But this is me with a GoPro on my head. So we've got the Mustang, but we are not actually working on this today. By the way, turbo blanket does fit the new turbo. Waiting on some fittings, and we got to make a downpipe. That's not what we're working on today. Today, don't mind the garage, it's kind of a mess. Today we are working on cleaning the truck out. It is filthy on the inside. It's getting to be too much. So today we're gonna clean that out. We're gonna start grabbing some supplies here. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna pull all the mats out. Please don't judge how dirty it is in here. It's pretty bad. So yeah, I'm just gonna set all the mats out. See, and the good thing about cleaning a car, free money. Well, it's money that you had at one point, and you still have it. Now it's just there in one spot. So anything that's like this, that's kind of like a pull-out plastic piece, I like to pull this stuff out and just clean it separately. It's a lot easier, plus then we can clean underneath where that was. So like here for the center console, I can clean all this out. I'm just using this as an example, but usually cup holders will come out. These ones don't. So anything that'll pull out though, I like to pull that stuff out. Like I think this one, yeah, so this bottom one pulls out, so I'll take that guy out. Somehow it disconnects from here. Not quite sure. Oh, you gotta pull that piece out too. Awesome. So this is actually all one piece. If you have a ram and you're wondering, this whole bottom piece comes out. So see, you want to clean that separately because you can only get to certain spots if you're trying to clean it while it's in the truck. So we'll set this stuff out and we'll clean it later. Now, everyone might be a little different on this part, but what I like to do is open all the doors up. So we're gonna open all the doors, and I'm gonna take this air blaster that we have. We typically dry the cars with this thing, this Air Blaster 9000 XLT. So we use this guy. And so what I'm gonna do is just blow off the door panels, blow off the dash, even blow out the carpets. I'm gonna blow everything out, and then we'll get to the next step. But what that does is it kind of releases all the dirt, all the hard to reach spots, and it gets that dirt out. That way when you go to vacuum or wipe it down, all that dirt that was kind of stuck in the crevices and corners doesn't start coming out when you do that stuff. So you kind of wanna, it's kind of like washing a car. Like washing a car, you wanna rinse and get all the door jambs and everything clean first, and then you get to the rest of the vehicle. So that's kind of what we're gonna do with this Air Blaster 9000 that just tipped over on me. This thing's powerful, so you gotta be careful with it. Okay, so now that part's done, my mats actually aren't that dirty, so what I recommend, if they're not too dirty, just shake them out and then vacuum them really good. You could take these to like a power washer. I do really need to get some rubber floor mats and get rid of these carpet ones, because the carpet ones, you can see I've only had this truck like 6 months and they just don't last that long because you're getting in and out and you have dirty feet, you got muddy shoes. So I'm just gonna vacuum these real quick and then we'll get to the next step. All right, so now we're gonna vacuum the rest of the vehicle since we blew it out with the air blaster. Now we're just gonna vacuum the carpets and vacuum the seats up, and then we'll get to the next step. Now, I don't know if you guys just saw what I did there, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll just unclip these plastic pieces right here and just vacuum right underneath, because you can see you get a line of like dirt right there. So I just kind of run the vacuum right along there, and usually all these just clip back in. So just be careful. Sometimes there is screws in there, but most of these for most vehicles are just plastic. Okay, now this is where people kind of differ and have some discrepancies. I don't think interior cleaner matters as much unless you are trying to protect things such as like your leather seats, but we've got some Detail Guys interior cleaner, really good stuff. This is Mother's vinyl, leather, and rubber. Cleans, conditions, and protects. I really like using this on stuff such as like plastic door panels. So I'm gonna use this stuff today. Like I said, a lot of people have different discrepancies on what products they like to use, but my interior is Ceramic Pro coated, so I just really need to clean it off. It's technically already protected by Ceramic Pro. So really, I'm just gonna spray the rag generously, and we're just gonna wipe the whole vehicle down. So I like to even hit all the plastics down here, because as you can see, you might not be able to see this, but any of this stuff where you're constantly getting in and out of the same spot takes a ton of abuse. So I like to really clean that stuff good and try and protect it. I mean, this might even be a good spot to lay some type of Expel or Clear Bra, because those spots do see a ton of abuse. So I like to hit all the plastics, even around the seats, around the seat belts. I like to be kind of a clean freak when it comes to cleaning the interior. I'll even go as far as take some Q-tips and get in here. Luckily, these vents are actually a little bit larger, so I can stick the rag in there and clean these real good. Get the bottoms of each and the tops. Now these top ones at an angle, those are a little bit harder to reach, so I'll probably take a Q-tip to those later. And see, I like to hit the door panels first before the windows. I'll typically hit the windows last, which I'll show you. And the reason why is because sometimes when you're trying to clean the door panel all the way up to the edge, you'll get some of your cleaning supply on the window, and you want to make sure you wipe that stuff off, because it smears real bad on glass, and it's not good to go on the glass. So let's clean these door panels really good also. And see, we already blew all the dust off of these, so really now we're just kind of scrubbing them clean and protecting them a little bit with our product. And see, I'll clean all the plastics back here. I haven't really used these storage bins too much. I kind of just got some stuff sitting in there so they're not too dirty, or else I'd clean those out also. Just try and wipe everything. My dog spends a lot of time back here, more than humans. So I try and clean it really good back here for when I don't have her back here. And I try and constantly clean it because, as you know, dog hair builds up. And if you let it build up too long, it's just even more of a pain in the ass to clean. So I like to clean the back definitely more often, just because my dog spends a lot of time back here. And if you just let it get dirty, it's gonna get really dirty. It'd be kind of hard to tell, but the reason why I like using this Mother stuff or any of the, Detail Guys stuff, Car Pro is really good. Meguiar's even has some good stuff, but I really try and stay away from like Under Armour, Armor All. They always sound the same. But the reason why I stay away from stuff like Armor All or any of those types of brands is they really leave like a greasy feeling on the interior, and I do not like that. I like it just to look clean and look brand new. So this gives it like a nice little sheen that makes it kind of look new, but it's not overly greasy, shiny. I don't like that feeling, because then everything, you feel like you're slipping and sliding on the seats like we're in the 70s or something. And you got plastic covering the seats. So that's why I really like this brand. Honestly, this stuff's cheap and it works good. Some people might not like it. It might not be the best product, but I think it works really good. Now, since everything I have in the truck is Ceramic Pro coated, I'm not going to condition the leather seats, but I'm gonna put a picture here of, I think the brand is Lexol. I would use that brand if I was gonna clean and condition the seats. This stuff will actually clean the seats really well and put kind of a little protectant on it, but you gotta remember, this stuff's already ceramic coated, so I don't need to protect it too much. But yeah, if I were to use any brand, I would use the Lexol. I've had really good results with that stuff. I'm not a cleaning professional, but I do like to keep my vehicles clean. I kind of let my Ram get a little dirty over the past few weeks since I've been focusing on the Mustang. So I've been really wanting to clean this in depth. Now when I clean the seats, I do grab a newer rag. These are reused rags that we wash, but I like to use a different rag than what I've been using for the plastics. And this one I like to spray on the seat because I like to spray it a little more generously and just kind of clean it. So it's really good to kind of drive your finger into the crevice of the seats and pull some of that dirt out that the vacuum didn't get. And then I'll even wipe down the seatbelt buckle and, like I said, all the plastics around it. But I like to use a different rag just for the seats. And since, like I said, my dog sits in the back a lot, I really make sure I clean the back of the seats really well because she slobbers on them. She's a boxer. What do you expect? All right, so if you remember the pieces we pulled out of the interior earlier, so this one's for the center console, that one's for the coin holder. Now see this stuff, now we can spray it real generously, kind of let it soak for a couple seconds and get all this grime out. Because this is typically, you know, where you have your coffee spills, your energy drink spills, you're throwing coins all over it. I mean, this stuff usually sees the most abuse. Any of your center console liners or cup holder liners, which for some reason the ones in the Ram don't pull out except in the door panel, which I will pull those out and probably clean those separately. But the ones in the center console, usually you have a liner. I remember my Ford, it had a liner for the cup holder, and I would pull that out and clean it separately just like I did these. So look how much better that looks. I don't know how well you guys can see it because we're on the GoPro today, but it looks 10 times better. And this one's all gross because it's got the grime from the coins, just throwing coins in there. So it's really good to let that stuff soak, and then it wipes up really easily. And this would be similar to having like rubber floor mats. That's why everyone likes rubber floor mats. They're super easy to clean and they last a lot longer than the carpet floor mats. So I like when companies do this though. They make stuff removable. It's a lot easier to clean. So now we can toss these back in. So now that's all perfectly clean. And we got this super long piece, goes all the way to the back. I'm just gonna feed it back there, open this up, slide it forward, and then just pull it the rest of the way. Slide that piece down into the front, pull it back just a little more. Boom. So now your center console is perfectly clean. Looks really good. That was driving me nuts. That was driving me nuts because when you sit, everything's right here and I just look over and it's so dirty. So if you don't have one of these new Rams, what's really cool is they have the generation of Rams on here, which is kind of a cool feature. But anyways, this goes back down here. It's kind of like a little separator, which is really cool. So just snap that back into place. Center console's put back together. We're gonna toss the mats in, give them one last shake because you might have been stepping on them. So we got our back mat in, looking good. Front mats are in, everything's looking good. So now last thing I do is I clean the glass. So once again for the glass, I like to use a new towel. Whoops, I'm knocking stuff over. I like to use a new towel. Obviously these are older towels, but they've been washed. So a nice clean towel, and I actually like to spray the glass because a little bit of overspray from glass cleaner is not a big deal. Gotta clean the back windows real good because my dog likes to drool on them. Alright guys, so that is how I clean the interior of my vehicles. I like to use this little windshield cleaner from Invisiglass. Where is it? There it is. This thing works really well actually. So we've got a whole host of Detail Guys products. We've got a bunch of Mother's products, Meguiar's. We've got Car Pro stuff, which Car Pro is probably my favorite. If you haven't seen it, it's this brand. It's a little more expensive, but their stuff is probably one of the best. But that's just the stuff I like to use on the inside. Like I said, my vehicle's ceramic coated, so I don't have to use some crazy products. I just got to get it clean because it's already protected. But that's what I use to clean the inside of my vehicle. Hopefully it helps you. I don't like to clean the door jambs unless I'm cleaning the outside of the vehicle, because you don't want to just spray like some detail spray or anything on there. You could use like some waterless wash, but I like to do that kind of stuff when I'm actually washing the outside of the vehicle. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys like the GoPro point of view. I've never really done that before. I used to do it when we'd go to the track. I put on my helmet, but not for like an actual vlog, just cleaning and stuff. So let me know if you guys like that. Make sure you comment down below. And as always, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys on the next one.